Yeah, I mean, I won't lie. It's getting harder. It's getting harder. It's getting tougher. Every day gets tougher. Um, but but that's the way it is. I mean, you don't.
Michael J. Fox, the time-traveling teenager who captured the hearts of millions in Back to the Future, has starred in over 50 films and won 5 Emmy Awards, for Golden Globes and to Screen Actors Guild Awards. At 64, this Canadian-American icon remains one of the most beloved actors of his generation, with a career spanning over 4 decades. But what the world remembers, the skateboard chase through Hill Valley, the charming smile on Family Ties, the $350 million box office success of a trilogy that defined the 1980s, tells only the beginning of the story. Behind the fame lies a journey marked not by continued glory, but by devastating diagnosis, a trembling left hand noticed during the filming of Doc Hollywood in 1990, when he was just 29 years old, a shocking secret kept hidden for 7 years while his body slowly betrayed him on camera. The heartbreaking decision to leave Spin City at the peak of his television comeback, walking away from $250,000 per episode, and a tragic progression that has stolen his ability to walk, to write, to do the simple physical tasks that once made him a star. This is not the story of a man who conquered a disease. This is the story of a man who learned to live with one, publicly, honestly, and with humor that shouldn't be possible. But behind the optimism and advocacy lies a story not glamorous, but brutal, a daily war fought inside a body that refuses to cooperate. If Michael J. Fox has ever made you believe in hope against impossible odds, hit like as tribute to his unbreakable spirit. This is the story of a boy from Canada who became Marty McFly, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease before 30, who raised over $2 billion for research while his own body deteriorated, and who taught the world that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's showing up even when your hands won't stop shaking. June 9, 1961, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Michael Andrew Fox was born to William Fox, a career Canadian Armed Forces police officer, and Phyllis, a payroll clerk and actress. The family moved constantly. Military life meant no permanent home. By the time Michael was 10, they'd lived in 5 different cities across Canada. The beginning was not glamorous, but unstable. Small apartments, tight budgets, a father whose work demanded discipline, and a mother who dreamed of stages. Michael was the 4th of 5 children, the middle child. Easy to overlook. He was small for his age, barely 5 feet tall. Through most of his teenage years, kids called him shrimp and worse, but he learned early that humor was armor. Make them laugh before they can hurt you. At 15, he lied about his age to land a role on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation series Leo and Me in 1976, his first professional paycheck, $350 for one episode. He was hooked, but his father wasn't. William Fox wanted his son to have stability, a real job, a pension, security. Acting was a fantasy. Michael dropped out of high school at 17 and moved to Los Angeles in 1979. He had $600 in his pocket and a dream that terrified him. His parents didn't approve. They didn't say goodbye at the airport. Los Angeles was brutal. Michael lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in West Hollywood with 3 other struggling actors. Audition after audition, rejection after rejection. He was too short, too baby-faced, too Canadian. He took work where he could find it. Midnight Madness 1980. Bit parts on Lou Grant, episodes of Family, nothing stuck. Then came the name change. Michael A. Fox was already taken in the Screen Actors Guild. Michael Andrew Fox was too long. He settled on Michael J. Fox. The J stood for nothing, just a letter that sounded right. 1982. Michael J. Fox, 21, auditioned for a new sitcom pilot about a Republican teenager in a liberal family, Family Ties. The show was about the parents, Stephen and Elise Keaton, played by Michael Gross and Meredith Baxter. Michael's character, Alex P. Keaton, was supposed to be a supporting role. Then test audiences saw him. They didn't care about the parents. They wanted the kid in the tie reading the Wall Street Journal. By season 2, Michael J. Fox was the star. His salary jumped from $15,000 per episode to $50,000. The show ran for 7 seasons and won Michael 3 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor 1986, 1987, 1988, but he almost missed the role that would define his life. 1988 for Director Robert Zemeckis was casting a time travel comedy called Back to the Future. He wanted Michael J. Fox, but Michael was locked into family ties. NBC refused to release him. Zemeckis cast Eric Stoltz instead and filmed for 6 weeks. It wasn't working. Stoltz was a brilliant dramatic actor, but he wasn't Marty McFly. Zemeckis convinced the studio to reshoot everything with Michael if he could do both Family Ties and the movie simultaneously. Michael agreed to the impossible. He filmed Family Ties from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., then drove to the Back to the Future set and worked until 2 a.m. or later. He slept 3 hours a night for 3 months. He later said, "I don't remember most of that time. I was a zombie." Back to the Future was released on July 3, 1985. Budget, $19 million. Box office, $381 million worldwide. Michael J. Fox, 24, became a global superstar overnight. His paycheck, $250,000 for the first film. For Back to the Future Part 2 1989 and Part 3 1990, he earned $5 million each. He also starred in Teen Wolf 1985, The Secret of My Success 1987, and Casualties of War 1989. By 30, he had everything. Fame, money, critical respect, and a secret that was already destroying him. 1990. Michael J. Fox, 29, was filming Hollywood in Florida. One morning, he woke up and his left pinky finger was trembling, just a twitch, nothing serious. He ignored it. It didn't stop. Weeks passed. The tremor spread to his entire left hand. He saw a doctor in Florida, then another in Los Angeles. Then specialists in New York. In 1991, at 30 years old, Michael J. Fox was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's disease. The doctor explained it simply: a progressive neurological disorder that destroys the brain's ability to control movement. There is no cure. It only gets worse. Michael asked how long he had before he couldn't work. The doctor said, maybe 10 years if he was lucky. Michael went home to his wife, Tracy Pollan, whom he'd married in 1988 after meeting on Family Ties. They had one son, Sam, born in 1989. He told her everything. They cried together. Then Michael made a decision. He would tell no one else. Not his agent, not his co-stars, not the public. He would keep working until his body made it impossible. For 7 years, he hid it. He took medication that controlled the symptoms barely. He timed his doses around filming schedules. He learned to hide his shaking hand behind props, in pockets, by gripping objects. 1996. Michael accepted the lead role in the sitcom Spin City. Salary, $250. $0 per episode. By season 4. He played Mike Flaherty, the fast-talking deputy mayor of New York City. The show was a hit. He won a Golden Globe in 1998 and an Emmy in 1999, but every day it was torture. He increased his medication just to get through tapings. The tremors worsened. His balance deteriorated. He had to grab furniture between takes to stay upright. Then came November 1998. Michael J. Fox, 37, held a press conference in New York City. He revealed his Parkinson's diagnosis publicly for the first time. The world was shocked. He'd been sick for 7 years and no one knew. He explained that he was going public to raise awareness and funding for research. What he didn't say was that he was terrified of becoming irrelevant, that he was ashamed of his body's betrayal, that he woke up every morning wondering if this was the day he could no longer pretend to be okay. It is heartbreaking when the body you train for perfection becomes a prison. Michael left Spin City in 2000 after 4 seasons. The physical demands were too much. He later admitted, I couldn't memorize lines anymore. My brain would know them, but my mouth wouldn't cooperate. He was 39 years old and walking away from $1 million per month. In 2000, he founded the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. To date, the foundation has raised over $2 billion, more than any organization in history dedicated to finding a cure. But the money couldn't save him. 2006. Michael appeared in a political ad supporting Missouri Senate candidate Claire McCaskill, who backed stem cell research. Conservative commentator Rush Limbaugh accused him of exaggerating his symptoms for sympathy. On national radio, Limbaugh mocked Michael's movements. Michael responded with dignity, "I was just trying to be heard. I'm sorry if my illness offends anyone." The backlash against Limbaugh was immediate and fierce, but the damage was done. Michael was reminded that even suffering can be weaponized. 2013, that Michael wrote in his fourth book, Lucky Man, that he'd been drinking heavily in the early years after his diagnosis, 4 bottles of wine some nights, just to stop thinking about the future. He quit drinking in 1995, but the fear never left. By 2018, he needed spinal surgery to remove a benign tumor. The recovery was brutal. He fell constantly, broke his arm, then his shoulder, then his elbow. Walking became a battle. By 2020, he was using a wheelchair for long distances. In 2023, Michael announced he was officially retiring from acting. His short-term memory was failing. His speech was slurred. He couldn't learn lines. At 62, his career was over, not because he wanted it to be, but because his body gave him no choice. 20-5. Michael J. Fox, 64, lives in Manhattan with Tracy, his wife of 37 years. They have 4 children, Sam 35, twin daughters Aquina and Skylar 30, and daughter Esme 23. His net worth is estimated at $65 million. But he rarely leaves his apartment now. Walking is dangerous. Speaking is exhausting. He still runs the Michael J. Fox Foundation remotely, attending board meetings via video. Scientists are closer than ever to breakthrough treatments thanks to his funding. But Michael knows he won't benefit from them. He's at peace with that. He recently told People magazine, "I've had a great life. Parkinson's sucks, but it's taught me more about gratitude than success ever did." He spends his days with Tracy, watching movies, listening to music, and texting with his kids. He can't type anymore, so he uses voice to text. Sometimes the phone misinterprets his slurred words. He laughs at the absurdity. His last public appearance was at the 2024 Oscars, where he presented Best Documentary using a walker. The standing ovation lasted 2 minutes. He barely made it off stage, but he made it. At 64, Michael J. Fox stands as proof that heroism isn't about defeating your enemy. It's about refusing to surrender. From Edmonton to Hill Valley, from Marty McFly to a man who can barely walk, from hiding his trembling hand to raising $2 billion to cure the disease that's stealing his life. He didn't conquer Parkinson's. He lived with it publicly, honestly, with humor that defied logic. The world saw a movie star, but the truth was different. Michael J. Fox was never just an actor. He was a reminder that dignity persists even when the body fails. If this story touched your heart, leave a tribute below. Share a moment when Michael J. Fox's courage reminded you that hope still exists, even when the future looks impossible.